What's up everyone, it's the Martial Commander back with another Star Wars video, and today I'm going to be giving my honest opinion on the top 5 new characters introduced in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So without further ado, here's my list. Starting off this list, at number 5, we have one of the main antagonists in this series, Riva. Now, I did like Riva as a character, don't get me wrong. She just couldn't make it higher than the rest of these characters on my list. At first, I wasn't exactly intrigued by her character or interested in her arc, but by episode 3 I became fond of the journey her character was on, and Moses Ingram did an amazing job in this show. By episode 5 she was actually very interesting, and now I actually want to see more of her story. Another thing that puts her so low on this list is the fact that her friends were killed, so she became an Inquisitor who assumably committed horrendous acts under Vader like the other Inquisitors did. I guess that part was just a little confusing for me and didn't make much sense, but as I said, her redemption left me wanting to see more of Riva's future. Coming in at number 4 we have Ned B, and trust me, it was hard to put him so low. He was my personal favorite side character in this whole series. There wasn't really anything to dislike about him, and the only reason he isn't number 1 is because I don't want everyone to think I'm being biased. Silent, deadly, protecting, loving droid. Ned B overall was an adorable character and played a bigger part in the story than he's given credit for. Maybe I'll have to make a droids ranked video to see if he can place higher there. But yeah, he wasn't the most important character, he wasn't the most developed, he didn't have the best arc, but he's my favorite. Moving on. Next up we have Colin. My reasoning is pretty simple here. Firstly, he was a great character from first appearance up until the end. He was a natural leader and played a big part in operating the path and helping Obi-Wan Kenobi. Secondly, I think he has the most potential to play a huge part in future stories compared to all other characters introduced. I can see him being one of the many leaders that inspire or even serve in the Rebel Alliance. Lastly, what I really liked about him was his established past. Sure, they didn't explore it to the full extent, but that's okay since this is a show about Obi-Wan, not Roken. But we know his motives, and I feel like his story makes a lot more sense than Riva, which left me enjoying his character a lot more. He lost his Force-sensitive wife to the Empire, so he dedicated his life to helping Force-sensitives. His character all around was spectacular, and I truly hope we see more of him. At number 2, we have Hajja. I feel like Hajja was probably one of, if not the most developed and complex character in this show. He's introduced as nothing more than a con, but quickly becomes a big part of the path, and one of Obi-Wan's closest friends post Order 66. I think the complexity in his development was the best by far. It was good to see a seemingly bad person become one of the friendliest heroes in the show. He also looked after Leia and Kenobi a lot. In my personal opinion, he played the biggest part in the story, minus maybe the person who gets number 1 on this list. And on top of this, he also has the potential to show up in future projects like Roken. Perhaps they could both be major figures to the Rebel Alliance. I think the only downside to him was we couldn't see any of his backstory, but hopefully someday we get more of him and explore his character. And here I'm going to put honorable mentions. They couldn't really make the list, but they're still pretty amazing characters and they were portrayed amazingly by their actors, so props to them. The 4th sister. She's been introduced in the comics before, but this is the only time we've actually seen her. I liked her silent, only wanting to get the job done attitude. She did not put up with any of the 5th brother or the 3rd sister's babbling. I'd even say she was my favorite Inquisitor out of the 4 in the show, if it wasn't for Sun King's amazing portrayal of the 5th brother. It's a hard choice between the two. Nari. How did he find Obi-Wan? No idea, but I will admit Nari played a good part in the story for his short-lived time. I liked how he was a Jedi who believed in bringing the fight to the Empire. Otherwise, he wasn't anything too special, and in my opinion, he falls way below Riva. I'd also put Breya Organa and the 5th brother on this list. They're not new by any means, but their characters are expanded on tremendously in the show, and I absolutely love the route that was taken with them. Now, with all the honorable mentions out of the way, we're gonna get right to number 1. Last, but definitely not least, number 1 on my list of best new characters in Obi-Wan Kenobi is Tal'Dorei. Undoubtedly, out of all characters who played a significant role, she played the most significant part. Tala started out as an Imperial officer who realized what the Empire was doing was wrong. This led to her becoming one of the many operators of the path who smuggled and aided Jedi in getting new identities. She became very close to Obi-Wan and Leia, aiding not only them, but every refugee on the path. up until her untimely demise when she sacrificed herself to buy everyone else time to escape. If it wasn't for her, the path and Obi-Wan and Leia would have been wiped out then and there. Her character as a whole was by far the best new character, and the only downside is we won't be able to see more of her in future Star Wars projects because she died. She was bound to earn the top spot on this list. In my opinion, she was the most important character in this show that was not Obi-Wan or Darth Vader. Anyways, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscription. Do you agree with my ranking? And if not, what's your ranking? I'd really like to know, and give me some reasons why. Peace out, everybody. May the Force be with you.